What's up guys, Andrew Baena here, and since it's the end of 2018, I thought I'd do another one of these videos. This is going to be a rundown of all of the guitars that I currently have. I've definitely done videos like this in the past. I've also seen a couple of other YouTubers doing this, like Jared Dines and Rudy Ayub, and so on and so forth, so I thought that I would do one as well, because I can't make any original content. So without further ado, let's go through my guitar collection. So first and foremost is this obnoxiously neon yellow Solar Guitars a 2.6. I got this in, I think, October or September of this year, so not too long ago. Ola England makes some amazing products. Not too many people have tried Solar guitars yet, but I'm very, very happy with the two that I have. I think this is my favorite of the two. I just love how obnoxiously bright it is. I love bright neon guitars. And something that's really cool about Solar guitars, I don't really know how to describe it, but when you play it, it just has this really nice resonance that you can really feel in this hand. Like on your thumb, you can feel the notes going through your thumb. That might sound kind of hippie-ish and dumb, but that's like the best way I can attempt to explain it. So yeah, this is a very cool guitar. It's nothing too fancy. I think it's like an ebony fretboard. Solar Guitar's own pickups, which are the Duncan Solar, which is like a collaboration between Seymour Duncan and Ola or something like that. Three-way switch, or five-way switch rather. Volume, tone. That's pretty much it. Not too much to talk about this guitar, but I really, really like it. I think I have this tuned to drop B right now. Alright, next up is my other Solar guitar. This is the Solar A2.7, so it's pretty much the exact same thing as what I just showed you, except of course it is white and it has 7 strings. I also got a beautiful chip in this guitar. Where is it? A chip over here. You probably can't even see it. Got that dent in the guitar within about 30 seconds of having it because I opened the box and immediately hit it on the floor, so that was super disappointing. But guitars are meant to be played, and if you play them well or play them enough, they will eventually get dinged. So oh well. Very cool guitar. Really enjoyed having this. I got this in February 2018, so really early on in this year, right after Ola announced the guitar brand. I was one of the first guys to hit him up and asked if I could try it out, and he hooked me up with one. Not for free or anything like that, but you know, it's really cool to talk to him. Makes great products, like I said on the last one. Definitely check these out if you're interested in like a budget-friendly 6 or 7 string guitar. Next up on my list is my custom Fast Guitars Roamer 6-string. This is the third Fast Guitars guitar, it's always a funny thing to say, that I ever got. I'm still incredibly happy with this one. I'm so happy that all the specs I picked out came into this guitar in a really awesome way. I love how this finish looks. It kind of looks like an avocado. I've heard a lot of people say it's like an avocado burst type thing, but basically it's like natural to green to black. And the natural kind of has a little bit of a yellowish tinge just due to how the wood looks. This is a, what is this, spalted maple? No, Buckeye Burl maple top on this one. This one has a 3-way pickup selector, volume, tone. This is before I started getting rid of my tone knobs, as you'll see later on. Fast Guitar's own designed bridge. These are the DiMarzio Titan pickups, which are of course Jake Bone from Periphery's signature pickups. All my Fast Guitars have a Swamp Ash pack that is natural, no color on the back, color on the front. I always found that really cool. All my Fast Guitars also have an ebony fretboard with the weird little truss rod adjustment in the fret that everyone freaks out about. And I think this one is a combination of roasted maple and plain maple on the neck or something like that. It's got a matching headstock and hip shot locking tuners. That's pretty much all there is to this guitar. Absolutely love this guitar. Still so glad that I picked out the specs the way I did. Alright, next up is my sparkly motherfucker. This is an LTD SCT607B. So of course this is Deftones guitarist Stephen Carpenter's signature model. It is a very cool guitar. Super, super sparkly. Which I've always wanted a sparkle guitar. I had one briefly, but it was like a cheap Squier Strat, so I returned it. So this is my first like good guitar with sparkles on it. Very happy with it. I definitely need to do a lot of work on it. I have been kind of struggling to decide what exactly I want to do with it because I have like 3 7 strings, and normally I tune to drop A, so I'm like, well, I don't really need 3 7 strings in drop A. So right now I have this in drop F, but I need to get some work done. I need a new nut. I don't really like the tuning pegs that came with these. These are like ESP's own version of a locking tuner, and I don't know, I'm not really a fan of them. I want to replace these with like hip shot or something like that. And then yeah, it needs a new nut because I'm putting on such thick string since it's in drop F that it kind of messed up the whole nut. And I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to set up guitars, so that was my bad. And I definitely want to get a different pick guard and get rid of this pickup. So I want it to be a bridge only 7-string Telecaster. I think that would be really sick. And also, honestly, I don't really like these, what are these? The Fishman Stephen Carpenter pickups. It's not really my thing. So I want to replace these with something else as well. Or not replace these, rather, just replace the bridge and get rid of that middle one altogether. But other than that, it's a guitar that needs a little bit of work to get it to where I want it to be. But it's still a really cool guitar, and I'm really happy that I bought it. Alright, next up is my Fast Guitars Roamer 8-string. This is the first guitar that I ever had made through Fast Guitars. This is the beginning of our relationship, and it's been going so well for as long as I've known Kevin Fast and the rest of the guys of the team. They've been absolutely killing it. This is, like I said, the first one that they ever made for me. So there are a couple things that I would have done differently now that I know what I know. The main thing is, if you look on the back, there's actually no string ferrules on this guitar, which I didn't really think about at the time. So the strings actually sit like underneath the saddles, if that makes sense. And I'm not really a fan of that. After changing the strings a bunch of times, I found it to be kind of annoying. So I definitely would have, you know, got string through body done on this if I would have thought of it before I ordered it, but I didn't, so that's my bad. This one has hip shot locking tuners. As you'll notice, a lot of my guitars have hip shot locking tuners. I really like those tuners. This is before Fast was making his own bridge design, so I think these are also hip shot saddles. These are the bare knuckle pickups Cold Sweat 8, which are custom slanted by their custom shop or whatever. Tone knob, volume knob, three-way pickup selector. Once again, this was before I started removing the tone knob on everything because I never use it. This one's the same thing, ebony fretboard, roasted maple on the back, and swamp ash body. This is another kind of avocado-ish burst. This one is spalted maple, black to green to yellow burst. A lot of people don't like this finish, but I love it. Alright, next up is another Fast guitar. This is my beautiful 9-string. I'm pretty sure this is my favorite guitar that I own. For a long time, I couldn't decide if it was between this one and the 8-string Roamer, which I just showed, but I think this one has won me over. I love this guitar so much. This one, I did things a little differently. I got a bird's eye maple board on it instead of ebony just to change it up. It's also got my initials as an inlay on the 12th fret, which was something I always wanted to do, but I was always worried it would be like kind of cringy or something like that. And maybe it is cringy, but you know what, whatever, it's a custom guitar, I'll do what I want. This one also has the hip shot locking tuners as well. Once again, swamp ash body. This time I did get the string through body string ferrules on here, which is good. I like this a lot more. Makes my life way easier when restringing. This one has EMG 909X pickups because pretty much nobody makes 9-string pickups, so I went with the EMGs. I think one of the coolest things about this guitar though is the fact that it has a white bridge. I don't think I've ever seen a guitar with a white bridge before this one. And because Fast Guitars makes his own bridge pieces now, then in theory they could do whatever color you want. I don't know if they offer that on their website, but he did this for me as a test, and I think it looks gorgeous. This one has, what else? This one, again, this is when I started getting rid of the tone knob on my guitars. So this one just has a volume knob and a 3-way switch. That's pretty much it with this guitar. This time I went for quilted maple, which is a little more standard. It's not as crazy as like a Buckeye or a spalted maple or something like that, because I kind of figured like I was already getting a 9-string. I didn't want to go like way too over the top, have like a little bit of subtlety in there. I say as I'm holding a neon green guitar, but regardless, this guitar is amazing. This is my baby. This is the Fast Guitars Orion 9-string. Alright, next up on my list is not a guitar, but it's a bass, which is actually hard to get in the frame there. So this is a Dingwall combustion. I just started a partnership or endorsement with Dingwall very recently. So I'm kind of waiting to get one of the newer 2018 or 2019 models. They're just out of stock right now when I signed up with them. So in the meantime, since I'm very impatient and I didn't want to wait until they were in stock, I found this beautiful green candy apple sparkle Dingwall that's actually all the way from I think 2009 or something like that. So it's basically like a 10-year-old Dingwall, one of the first combustions ever made. But even though it's almost 10 years old, it sounds absolutely amazing. This is before they did a lot of the things they currently do, like use like a dark glass preamp, and it has different pickups and all that, but I still love this bass. I was thinking of buying this just to use until they had some more in stock so I could get a newer one and then selling it and getting a newer one instead, but honestly, I kind of want to keep it. So we'll see how my money situation is when the new ones are available, I guess, but if I can keep both, I definitely will. So once again, this is a Candy Apple Sparkle Green Dingwall combustion all the way from 2010 or 2009 or something like that. Alright, next up is the most ridiculous guitar in my collection by far. This is an Agile 10-string Pendulum Pro model. It's also fan fret. I think it's like a 28 to 30 inch scale length, or maybe 27 to 30, I can't remember. So this guitar actually has a pretty funny story in addition to how ridiculous it looks already. So I originally tried to order one of these from Agile, or from Rondo Music, who are the people that sell Agile, and basically I couldn't get it into Canada because the company refused to ship the guitar to my PO box in the States, even though if I ship something to the States it's way cheaper than shipping to Canada, so I always do that. So they refused to do that, and shipping to Canada was going to cost like a ton of money. And also this has a rosewood fretboard, which like could potentially be an issue with Canada and the States. So I decided to cancel my order, and I was pretty bummed because I'd already like announced to everyone like, okay, I'm getting a 10-string, this is gonna be crazy, blah blah blah. So didn't end up getting one, and then about a month later, the amazing guy Kevin at Said Too Much Productions actually reached out to me because he had this guitar, and he said he was kind of getting bored of it, didn't really know what to do with it. So he sent it over to me, and that was incredibly nice of him. I still can't really believe that he did that. So definitely huge shout out to Kevin. I'll put his YouTube link in the description below. Definitely go get his channel a look. He does some really cool stuff. So this is a 10-string Pendulum Pro from Agile. Restringing this thing is such a pain in the ass, and there's no locking tuners, which makes it even harder. And you have to order like crazy ass custom strings from like Callium, because they're the only place in the world that I've ever found that makes 10-string guitar strings. So overall, it's just a ridiculous instrument. Honestly, I have no idea what to do with it other than doing like downtuned videos and memes. I have not been able to come up with a single second of original music with this thing just because I'm lost when I play it. But it's a lot of fun, so 10-string. Alright, this next guitar in my collection isn't technically going to be mine much longer. This will be the guitar that I'm actually giving away once I hit 100,000 subscribers. I do personally have one of these as well, but I'm letting my vocalist in Galactic Pegasus, Johnny, borrow it right now, so I'll show off this one instead. So this is an Ibanez RG8. The one that I use personally has Seymour Duncan blackout pickups, but this one has the DiMarzio deactivators. Yeah, so this is a pretty cool guitar. It's one of the first ever production model 8 strings that Ibanez made. So this is a little older, but they're still fantastic guitars. They're way better than the current like RG8s or whatever Ibanez makes. This one is much better. So if you ever see a used RG8, definitely grab one and replace the pickups like immediately because they're awful. But yeah, it's kind of a cool guitar. I'm not a huge fan of the bridge because it's like a Floyd but not a Floyd, so you get all the annoying features of having to restring it like it's a Floyd without the benefits of actually using a whammy bar. So it's kind of it's a weird guitar. But it's cool. Yeah, pretty much all I have to say about this. I'll definitely be giving this away pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that. The next guitar on my list is my Ibanez RG8V2. So this is one of the standard Ibanez Prestige guitars. You can get these pretty much everywhere. These are like the Made in Japan series that Ibanez makes. So when I originally got this, I got it used, and it was like kind of chipped up, and it was like the original Galaxy Black finish. And I think it originally had like bare knuckle juggernauts or something in it. But the reason I bought this guitar was with the purpose of refinishing it and making a tribute model guitar for one of my favorite guitarists of all time, who is Justin Lowe. Justin Lowe, of course, passed away a few years ago. He's the guitarist in After the Burial. He's one of the first people I ever saw playing 8-string guitars, and he's also one of the first people I ever saw that used neon green guitars, which kind of sparked my love for both extended range guitars and green guitars, so I thought I would kind of get something that was a tribute to him. So that's the story behind this one. So again, it is just the RG852, which you can buy anywhere, but obviously I had it modified so it's neon green now, like Justin Lowe's was. And I also put the Seymour Duncan blackout pickups in it. They're amazing pickups, and they're also exactly what Justin Lowe used, so that worked out perfectly. I also got rid of the tone knob on this one, and this is actually a kill switch down here. I kind of regret not flipping these and having the volume there and the kill switch here, because like it's way too far away to actually use when I'm playing. So pretty much I never actually use it, but it's there and it looks cool. So yeah, this is the story of my Justin Lowe tribute guitar. Alright, so next up, this is one of the last guitars in my collection. This is the LTD ECBM. They always have such weird names. So this is of course ESP's budget line of guitars, which is LTD, and the EC stands for Eclipse, which is this shape, kind of their like Les Paul-ish shape, and BM stands for black metal. So apparently this thing is made for black metal. Obviously I don't listen to or play black metal, but I bought it anyways, and I'm very, very glad that I did. This guitar is pretty awesome. It's super light because there's really nothing to it. It's just a single pickup and a single knob and locking tuners. Very simple, very cool, very efficient, and it looks like just so stealthy. I love how it looks. I actually am trying to sell this one though, however, just because I have 2 other 6-string guitars and I don't really have a need for 3 6-string guitars, as I'm realizing. So this one's kind of been neglected and left on the shelf for about a month now. I haven't really used it. So if you're interested in this guitar, hit me up, I guess. But yeah, it's a very cool guitar. This one also has this Seymour Duncan blackened Black Winter pickup, which I really, really like. I think they make like an 8-string set of these, or sorry, a 7-string set of these. So maybe I was thinking about maybe putting this pickup in that other LTD, the green one I was showing you earlier. But regardless, it's a very cool guitar, pretty simple. Would highly recommend this series of guitars to anyone looking for like a no bullshit guitar. Alright, and last but definitely not least is my final fast guitar. This is brand new. I just got this at the end of October, so it's like a month old. This is Fast Guitar's first test of their midnight finish, which is basically meant to be like kind of a more budget friendly finish, which knocks off a couple $100 from the price or something like that. Yeah, so this is the Orion shape. So it's the same shape as my 9-string, which I showed you earlier, but this time instead of going for like a crazy green color, Kevin finally convinced me to get something more subtle. He's always pushing for me to get like more plain stuff, but I always make him do green anyways. But anyways, with this one, it is all black. It has this really cool textured finish on it, so you can actually feel all the wood grain that's in the swamp ash. So this one has a swamp ash top, swamp ash back, and then the neck is actually a combination of roasted maple and a composite material which Fast makes. So it's not actually a 5-piece wooden neck per se, but it's like 3 pieces of wood and 2 pieces of composite material, which make it incredibly sturdy. It's not moving anywhere. This time around we also tried something different for the tuning pegs. So these are actually, what are they called? They're called ratio tuners by a company called Graphtec. Graphtec is another Canadian company, and I actually like these quite a bit. Very cool tuning pegs. They work really well and they lock nicely. Once again, I got rid of the tone knob on this guitar as well. And these have the Seymour Duncan Alpha Omega set, which is of course Mark Holcomb from Periphery's signature pickup set. I really, really like these pickups. I had heard very mixed opinions about them. Some people love them, some people hate them. I personally love them and I'm so happy I went with them. So yeah, this is my newest fast guitar. Oh yeah, it also has glow-in-the-dark fret dots on the side. A couple of my other ones do too, but I forgot to mention that. Oops. But yeah, very cool guitar. I did manage to convince Kevin to put a little bit of green in there. So if you look really, really closely, there's actually like a really dark, like forest green material for the inlays on the frets and also the headstock logo. So I kind of got my way and got a little bit of green in there still. But yeah, very cool guitar. Absolutely love this one. Alright guys, so that'll do it. Hopefully you found this video interesting. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the guitars I showed off in the comments below. If you're new to this channel by any chance, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm getting very close to hitting 100,000 subscribers, so that would be much appreciated. That's pretty much all I've got to say. Once again guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out all the links in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time.